Lieberman, HLN contributor and author of Whitey on Trial. John, one thing that has stumped cops, motive. So what are you learning tonight?
Jane, here's what my sources are telling me. This investigation's going in a few different directions. Number one, the suspect has lawyered up, so he's not talking. Right now, police are interviewing friends of the couple. They're interviewing neighbors. They want to know what the past history of this relationship is like. They're also going through social media accounts. They're going through laptops, phone records. They're also looking at financial records, and they're looking for motive. Was there a money problem in this family? Were there allegations of infidelity? Had this couple been fighting? Have there been previous calls to 911? These are all of the avenues that police are investigating right now. But again, I can tell you that he's lawyered up, number one, and number two, police sources are saying that this was a gunshot wound at very close range, almost like an execution-style killing. That's what I'm being told.
I know. It's unbelievable. Talk about the war on women. It seems totally insane for Daniel to shoot his wife, Stephanie, and then call 911 and say, oh, you know, I've got a medical emergency. My wife, I'm trying to save her life. She's vomiting blood. I'm doing CPR. Well, of course. It didn't take long for cops on the scene to determine that Stephanie had been shot in the head, execution style, straight out to Dr. Lawrence Kobylinski, famed forensic scientist. Dr. Kobe, is it possible to disguise a gunshot wound if the scene is incredibly bloody? I mean, why on earth would he assume that they wouldn't figure that out? Lickety-split.
There's no way of disguising this kind of trauma to the body. Autopsy will reveal exactly the distance of the muzzle to the head, and they will determine whether it was a contact or close-in shot. They will also determine whether there's gunshot residue on the hands of the defendant as compared to the hands of the victim. And finally, the gun is the key to everything because they will swab the gun down, they will do DNA testing, and they will determine whose DNA is on the trigger of that gun.
Lisa Bloom, I think I heard you sighing in disgust. I mean, talk about the war on women. We covered this so many times. Generally, though, it's when a woman has had enough, when she says, I'm not buying your act anymore, and we're going to get to possible reasons why in a second. That is the danger zone.
Absolutely. And if they're charging him with non-negligent homicide, that means it's an intentional killing. And murder would be an intentional killing with premeditation. And premeditation can be formed in an instant. It can be formed when he decided to pick up that gun, point it at her, and shoot her. And it certainly sounds as though that's what happened. I can only imagine what he was thinking, calling the police and pretending like he had nothing to do with this.
You know, it boggles my mind. I think people watch a lot of television shows and they see fictional characters doing things and getting away with them, and they think they can do the same thing. I'm sure this was something on some TV show. Of course, we don't want to